welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you my cream, highlight, and contour routine. I've gotten a couple questions on it since I posted on Instagram a couple videos where I do some cream contouring, and that's just what I've been doing the last couple months, and I've really been enjoying the way it looks on my skin, or it makes my makeup look. And I do have to say that this whole routine that I'm going to show you is a little excessive. It's not a routine that I do every single day. I mostly do this if I really want my makeup to stand out, if I'm going to an event, if I'm doing something at nighttime and I really want my contour, highlight, and everything else to pop, then I will do this routine. Otherwise, on the daily, I do like a mixture of the routine. So maybe I'll just do the contour part, or maybe just the powder part, or maybe just the cream contour part. I definitely don't do this routine every single day. I will link every single brush that I use, every single product that I use on my face so you guys can find it. Just check out the description bar down below and then you can find links to everything there. Before we get started, I do want to mention just a couple of cream products that I've really been loving. I know there are so many cream products out there on the market and it can be kind of overwhelming, and I've tried out a bunch of them, but these four are the ones that have really been doing it for me lately, so I just kind of wanted to let you know before we get the tutorial started. So the first one is the Pure Cosmetics Cameo Contour Stick. This one is great because it comes with two, so you get the contour on one side and then you get the highlight on the other side. And both of these are very creamy, they're very blendable, and they're good pigmentation with undertone. The more yellowy highlight side is a little bit yellow, but it's not so overly yellow that it's gonna make you look like you have jaundice. And then the contour side is a perfect undertone. It's cool and it's just a little bit warm, but it's not orange or red in any way. And I've really been loving that. That's kind of the thing that I look for in cream products. It has to be blendable and it has to be pigmented, because you don't want something that you constantly have to keep adding on, but when you blend it, it blends away. What kind of dupe for that product is from Maybelline. This is so disgusting because I use it constantly. I don't even want to show you, but I will just for the purposes of this video. This is the Maybelline Master Contour by Face Studio. And like I said, you can't see it because it's so messy, but on this side, it's the contour side. I'll show you this side. So this is a contour, perfect cool tone, not too light, not too dark. And then on this side, you can barely see it. There you go. But it has the highlight side. So it's very similar to the Pure Cosmetics one. This is the highlight shade. It's not as bright as the Pure Cosmetics one, and I don't really use the highlight on this side, but the contour is amazing. I think out of all of these cream products, this one is the smoothest and the one that blends out the easiest. They're all great, but this one's so smooth, so creamy, so buttery. It's really nice. These last two are more high-end, so they're gonna be more expensive, but they're really great ones too. This is the Smashbox Step by Step Contour Stick. You can get this in a set. Otherwise, now you can buy it just the contour stick. So it's that one right there. It's really, really nice, very smooth also. Really good pigmentation. It's just a little bit more opaque than the Maybelline one, but it's the same undertone. It's a nice neutral undertone, not too gray, not too red, not too orange. And then the last one that I have is the newest one to my collection, but this one's also really good. This is from Fenty Beauty, and this is the Match Stick Matte Skin Finish. This is in the shade Mocha, and this one is going to be a little bit warmer than these two, as you can see right there. So that is Mocha. It's a little bit warmer, but it's not so warm where it's going to look orange or red on your skin, and that's what you don't want. I mean, unless you like that look, then that's totally fine, but if you want something more neutral, more like a shadow, these are really good. This is still a little bit warmer, but when it blends out, it's fine. These four have been my go-to lately. I've been using them non-stop since I started doing more kind of cream contouring and such. I just thought I would give you guys a couple options as to what you can pick up from the drugstore in between, and then for high-end products. And that is it for all the rambling. I'm gonna shut up and let you guys get started with the tutorial. Okay, so as you can see, I have done my eyes and my foundation. I am zooming you guys in so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. I haven't done my concealer yet or setting like my face or anything, just because I like to do my contour first in case I mess up. Then I can just add concealer over it and brighten it up and make it so it's not so apparent. And then you always want to use liquids before you do powders, just so it doesn't get like cakey or look like it's cracked or anything like that. So that's why I'm doing that first. There's different tools that you can use to do a cream contour, but what works for me is using brushes. I feel like blending out my cream contour with brushes is just more precise and it's easier for me to get the result that I want. But if you guys want to use a sponge or anything else, you can certainly do that as well. And I like this style of brushes. So it's going to be like the thinner, more kind of straight line kind of brush. This one's a little bit fluffier than this one. This one's a very precise if you want like a really precise contour and such, but it just kind of depends. I use both, one to apply the actual contour and blend it out, and then the other one is to kind of diffuse it out to make sure it's nice and blended into the skin. For my contour, I'm going to use the Smashbox Step by Step Contour Stick. I personally find it easier to just run the product along and then take your brush and then go ahead and do it. So I will put my product on, scope out where I want it, and then I'm just going to go back and forth, really adding that contour. And you see how dark it is right now? It's not going to be that dark once we're done blending it out. I'm just sculpting out where I want it, and then I'm going to add more up here on the sides. I will go in with my bigger brush to blend everything out and buff everything into the skin. When you're blending and buffing your contour, you never want to blend down because that's going to make it look muddy. You always want to blend into your skin, and you can see here that I'm like pushing it up, like fanning it up in here. So then you have a really nice defined contour, but it doesn't look muddy and it doesn't look like it's not supposed to be there. And the more defined you want the contour, you can just always go back in with whatever's left on your product and chisel out those cheeks even more. Just alternate between these two brushes because it just gives me a more seamless kind of finish, or at least in my opinion, a more seamless finish. And like I said, you could totally just take this to your face if you want to. But I recommend it. It's just easier, so then you don't overdraw on product or anything like that. I just run it literally. Just run it along the bristles. I'll just squeeze them together and run the product along the bristles a couple times so you get enough product on there. Down on where you want your cheekbone. Carve it out. There you go. And carve out the other areas of your face where you want to add some. Then I always start with my forehead and blend it out, buff back and forth while pushing in an upward motion. So the bristles here are going this way and they're blending the product up. So I'm not going to go past this line here that I drew right there. Now I'm going to go in with the highlight portion. And with this one, it's the same thing. You can use a highlighting concealer. You can use like an actual stick for it. I use the stick part if it's like I really, really want it to be super bright, super opaque. Then I will just hit the high points here. So I'll show you here how I do it. I would do here, here, and run it right in here. You never want to use a like cream contour like right in here where you would normally put concealer because it's going to make it cakey and it's going to look dry under there. You would typically use it like here in these areas where you want to highlight the actual cheekbone. So I'm going to put it there, and you can even run this along just like a line right underneath where you put that contour to make it really stand out. And with like your actual concealer is where you can go right underneath it. Because if you add some of this highlighter on there, it's just going to look dry and cakey, and it's not going to be a good time for anyone. And same with this one. You can use a brush if you prefer. Otherwise, you can just use a sponge. For like the concealer and highlight portion, I always just use a sponge. It's just easier for me, and it gives me the same effect. So that's what I'm going to do. This just blend out together. And like I said, you don't have to do this stick highlighting part right here. If you have a concealer that's a shade brighter, than your normal complexion, or lighter, excuse me, than your normal complexion, it'll kind of do that same thing for you. But if you really want to emphasize it, if you really want to draw those areas out, those are the areas that I usually highlight and bring down. Once everything is nice and blended, whatever remaining product is left on my brush, then I will run just a little bit down my nose to contour just a smidge. So it's once you have all your liquids and creams on your face, then you can bake or set your face. And you don't have to bake if you don't want to. I'm going to just because that's what I like to do. And to bake my face today, I use the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. So I'm going to leave this on for a little bit and finish up my eyes, and then I will come back and show you how I do my contour and highlight for powder. Okay, now that that is done, let's finish it up with a powder. And the reason you add a powder is the same reason you would set your face, is to make sure that everything is locked in and it stays on longer. Take an oldie but a goodie. This is the NYC Smooth Bronzing Face Powder, and I'm going to take a Real Techniques brush and I'm going to dunk it in here and then use this as a bronzer. So how I usually like to do it is just circles here, here, and right here. And then I'll run it along my neck too, with a brush that's not super round, so it's kind of like the cream brush that we use. I'm going to take a more cool tone product. This is a Physicians Formula Bronze Booster Matte Sculpting Kit. I'm going to take this one right here. It's a nice gray tone. I'm just going to take a little bit of that. This one, I'm going to focus it where we did that contour. Just back and forth for a little bit. Right in here to really kind of chisel out that contour right there. This one is because the contour is normally like a shadow on the face, so it's a little bit more cool tone. And it really just kind of, when you add it in here, it really makes this area pop. So now for my blush, I'm going to use this one from Sigma, this Cor de Rosa, and this is the Aura powder. It's just a nice kind of peachy, rosy terracotta color. I'm going to take an angled blush brush. I start on the apples, and then I will blend it in to the bronzer and the contour and stuff. And you don't have to blend it in. Some people don't like blending it in because they think it takes away from their bronzer and contour. I just feel like it just flows nicer on your face. It's just kind of seamlessly sitting there. So start on the apple, smile, and then blend. And you always want to bring your bristles down this way because everybody has peach fuzz on their face, and if you go up this way, it might stand them out. So when I use powder, I always go the other way. Lift and then bring it down here. So now for my highlighter, I'm going to use this one from Ofra Cosmetics. This is the Blissful highlighter. This is such pretty highlighter. It's like a beigey kind of gold. I'm going to take that on a small taper brush from e.l.f. And this one hit just right on the cheekbones. So right where we put that cream highlighter, I'm just going to hit that right there. And then take a little bit, Cupid's bow, and just dust a little bit on the tip of the nose. Sometimes if you over highlight, like if you bring your highlight too far down here and you don't like that, just take whatever's left on your blush brush and blend it in, and then your highlight just blends in perfectly with the rest of your face makeup. Okay, and then the last step is, of course, to use a setting spray. I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. Alright guys, so that is my cream highlight and contour routine. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know some of you guys wanted to know a little bit more in depth on it, since I had been posting some Instagram videos where I did do some cream contouring, and I hope that you guys find it helpful in some way. I know for me, when I started doing contouring and then like cream contouring, it was a little bit intimidating just because you see all these girls add so much stuff on Instagram and you're like, how am I going to blend it out, or it doesn't turn out right. But I'm here to tell you that practice makes perfect, and you just need to find a way or certain products that work for you. Anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave it down in the comments below if you guys found this helpful, or if you want to see a little bit more in depth on anything. I will be more than happy to do that for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all at my next video.